Hey folks, I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. I'm driving on the turnpike this morning. Got up before there was really any traffic, but I'm still driving. And no court today. Going to pick up some family members from an airport. Anyway, I was going on the turnpike and I see, I don't want to say the name of the law firm, I'm not calling out anyone in particular, but it just made me smile. I read the billboard and it said something about aggressive attorneys. And I go, ooh, aggressive? Like, how manly? And I thought back to a time that I'll never forget when I went to a trial college and you're assigned a case and you try the case. And it has to do with voir dire, picking of the jury, openings, closings, direct examinations, cross-examinations, etc. And it was both for civil and criminal. So at the time I was only doing criminal law. And I remember going, we had to kind of try it first before we were official, like, hey, who wants to do a cross-examination on, this witness? And we just had a lecture on ways to do it and how to lead a witness the proper way. But I was like, hey, I was a young attorney and I thought I knew what I was doing, right? I was aggressive, right? I was aggressive. And I remember this woman, never forget her, just wonderful attorney, she knows her stuff. And she said, she stopped me as I was doing my cross. And she goes, well, Roger, why don't you kind of try to do it the way that I was saying? I was like, I don't know. I thought my way was going pretty good. I don't know. Typical arrogant, alpha, like most attorneys, we all think that we know better. And it comes with experience, right, where you can humble yourself. But at that time, I guess I didn't have the experience I thought. I'd already been an attorney for several years and had tried several cases and had, I don't know, hundreds of motions. But I chose to do it my way. And ultimately, long story short, I ended up crashing and burning. I got a runaway witness that, when I asked to strike their answer, I was denied by the judge, and they basically got their story out, and I didn't get my story out through cross, which is what you want to do. So I learned that day that it's not always, that aggression doesn't always work, right? I remember being a kid and living in this tough neighborhood and telling my dad, like, hey Dad, and he's, these guys are picking on me. I'm in 6th grade, 7th grade. These guys are picking on me, and he's like, a real man doesn't fight. And I'm going, I'm getting punched in the face. And I learned in that situation, aggression does work. Like, you punch someone in the face, they're going to think twice about hitting you again or trying to steal your shoes or your jacket or whatever, right? But I understand that difference, right? When you're young and someone tells you, like, hey, you got to think with your head, right? Like, you got to use your mind. It's not your brawn, right? It's not, but you're going like, what are you talking about? Like, you punch somebody in the face and they usually stop bothering you. Well, when you're, an attorney, you can't punch anybody in the face. You can't punch a judge or a prosecutor or a runaway witness. So sometimes, I don't know if I probably wouldn't even use the word passive aggressive, because passive aggressive almost, it implies a negativity, right? And when you're in a jury trial, you don't want anybody that's judging the facts of the case to dislike you. So, being a jerk to a witness on the stand, civil case, criminal case, right? Civil case, you're trying to, get justice by getting your client a bunch of money. In criminal, you're trying to keep your client out of jail or prison. Do you want to be aggressive at that time, where someone's like, that attorney, they don't like you, so your client loses their money that they're entitled to because of, they've been seriously injured? Or do you want your client to become a convicted felon because, although they may be innocent, you were aggressive? So I gotta go look on my webpage. I hope I don't have aggressive attorney. There's times that you have to be aggressive, but most of the time you have to outthink the person. You have to not argue with them, not debate with them. You're simply getting out facts. And in your closing argument, you make all those argumentative statements like, the witness told you that they were late for work. Of course they didn't admit that they were speeding, but they told you that they were late for work, and if they were late for work again, they would be fired. So, ladies and gentlemen, is it reasonable that Mr. Jones was speeding and ran the red light, T-boning Susie's car, causing her the injuries that prevent her from walking today, the injuries that prevented Susie from ever running again on a college track, that will prevent her from walking with her children, that will prevent her from ever rushing again. Do you want to make those arguments in closing? Or do you want to argue with someone who is going to debate with you on the stand and it's just two people arguing and no one really knows who's correct? Get the facts out in your cross-examination. You don't have to be a jerk to get facts out. You were late for work. Yes. You had been late for work previously. Yes. Your boss had told you, your boss had warned you not to be late again. Yes. You knew what that meant. Maybe. Calls for speculation. Okay. Your boss told you if you were late again not to come in. Yes. It's like, I don't gotta argue with anybody. I don't have to be aggressive, right? I don't have to punch anybody. I just gotta get the facts out. Get the facts out that help your case. So, I'm talking to you guys like you're attorneys, but I don't know if any attorneys watch my YouTube channel or not. But those people who think that aggressive and I'm a pit bull and I'm a German Shepherd attack dog and rah, 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 and I'm, blah, blah, and I have whatever syndrome, like I joke, where they just think that aggression, like everybody wants aggression. Yeah, there's a time and a place. You know, if I'm in a street fight back in Central Islip, New York, I may want someone who's aggressive and can handle, throw hands. But if I'm in a courtroom, I want someone who's experienced, who has tact, who can see different versions of, or not see different versions, that they can come at the case in different ways and then come to a conclusion of which way is the best way. Could be aggressive, but it's not likely aggressive. Anyway, I'm rambling because I got time. I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. Aggressive attorneys? Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to be aggressive. A lot of times it's going to backfire on you. Remember my trial experience. I got humbled. I crashed and I burned. And that witness got their story out, and that's how we learn, folks, right? We learn from falling. You fall and you get back up, and if you keep doing it the same way 100 times and you keep failing, you're stupid. If you fall and say, okay, well, that didn't work. What if I change this just a little bit this way and this just a little bit this way? Eventually you can succeed, and I think that goes across the board. I mean, as a football player, as a running back, running routes, getting footwork, as a boxer, as a guy who, felt awkward as can be the first time he threw a jab, you can develop skills. And did I just all of a sudden, start playing great football and get on one of the best college football teams of all time at Alabama? Did I just wake up and go to the 2004 Eastern Olympic trials? I lost. I fell. I stumbled. I tripped. I got my nose bloodied, right? But it was a journey, and it's a journey of it's a journey in humility. You get good. I sound like a tart. I know that's not a good word that we used to use in the 80s at all. I retract my statement. You become more seasoned. You get. I don't even like the word get. You become better at your craft. You acquire knowledge. With knowledge comes more skills. Man, I'm telling you, from running track to football to boxing to being an attorney to being a person. Doesn't matter what you do or what your experience is. We all have experience. And you get humbled and you learn. Doesn't mean that you give up. But if you get knocked down, get back up. Try it a different way. You'll get there. I'm attorney Roger P. Foley. If you're an aggressive attorney and you're watching this, try a different way. See how that works. Because aggression won't always work. Thanks for listening. Take care. Subscribe. Peace.